President Trump has said that a bill on sanctions against Russia that he signed into law earlier today is significantly flawed. He's issued a statement saying that a provision limiting his powers to lift the sanctions on individuals is unconstitutional. The sanctions were imposed in retaliation for Russia's actions in Ukraine and its alleged interference in the US presidential election last year. Let's go to Washington. Our correspondent Laura Bicker is there for us. In a drawer marked bleeding obvious questions, if it's significantly flawed, why has he signed it?
He had no choice but to sign it. So the rules of American governance state that if there's this overwhelming majority in Congress, both in the House and in the Senate, it means that they have the vote to override any presidential veto. So if he hadn't signed it, if he'd vetoed, Congress had the votes to override him, which means he was boxed into a corner. He didn't like the bill. He made that clear. He says in his statement that he tried to work with Congress to improve the language of the bill. But here he is, he's had to sign it, and he's done so behind closed doors so that the press didn't see exactly perhaps his face when he had to sign something that he didn't like. But here we are, he signed it, it has been into law, but we have a number of statements from the White House expressing his concern.
And of course, anything to do with Russia, it attracts quite a lot of attention at the moment.
Well, you would imagine, yes. Remember, there is several ongoing investigations into whether or not Russia meddled in the US presidential election and whether or not there was collusion between Russia and the Trump campaign. So obviously, this was getting a lot of attention. And in fact, it's been on his desk all weekend. But President Trump says in this statement that his concerns are actually about the constitutional overreach of Congress. In other language, basically, he's saying they're stepping on his toes. They're saying that he's saying that the language in this bill basically binds part of the hands of his administration when he's trying to negotiate business with Russia and when he's trying to negotiate perhaps staff going in and out of Russia, because this bill includes visas and it also limits his ability to lift or waive sanctions on Russia. So Congress have almost boxed him in, so to speak, when it comes to these Russian sanctions, and he doesn't like it.
OK, now one of the things that got him elected, his views on immigration, and he's been producing new proposals on that.
He's just announced that, Simon. What he's looking to do, if you remember throughout the campaign, he preferred a points-based system to immigration. They want to slash the number of legal immigrants coming into the US by 50% in the next 10 years. Now, right now, they say only 1 in 15 of those who are coming into this country legally are doing so based on a skill set. He wants to see an almost points-based system where you're allowed into the US if your skills are required here.
OK, let's just hear what he had to say a short time ago.
The RAISE Act will reduce poverty, increase wages, and save taxpayers billions and billions of dollars. It will do this by changing the way the United States issues green cards to nationals from other countries. Green cards provide permanent residency, work authorization, and fast track to citizenship. For decades, the United States was operated and has operated a very low-skilled immigration system, issuing record numbers of green cards to low-wage immigrants.
Laura, are things calming down in Washington?
No, it's been, here we are, it's, the middle of the week. When you think things are quiet, something else is announced. For instance, we thought we had a quiet day the other day, and then Anthony Scaramucci was out the door, therefore the news ramps up again. But what you're seeing here is Donald Trump returning to bread and butter issues, his real base issues, immigration. It's the one thing that he can guarantee his base will jump on. And here we are, him not just talking about limiting the number of people coming into this country, but doing so on a system that he believes will allow jobs to be increased in the right sectors rather than basically fold the market into itself. There are people out there believe that the number of immigrants coming into this country are the reason that they can't get a job. So he's playing to that base by saying the only reason people can get in here, or if these rules are put in place, is if they have the skill set to do so.
Laura, great to talk to you. Thank you very much. Laura